evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lucky Dog Gen 6 Series here at Homestead, Miami Speedway. Got 100 laps for you, 150 miles here at this lovely, lovely track. Plenty of racetrack, 3 viable lanes for all these guys to explore as the night goes on. We're going to see some folks married to that bottom lane, some folks ripping the wall from the green flag to the checkered flag, and some folks looking to find some speed there in the middle all night. So let's go ahead and let's get through our starting lineup before we get too lost in anything else. So starting on the pole, we have the 777 of Michael Pegg. To his outside in second, we have the 24 of Jason Adams. Starting third is the 56 of David Berry, and in fourth we have the 43 of Sandy Curtis. Fifth is the 44 of Jacob Edson. Sixth will be the 57 of Jeff Gilmore. Seventh will be the 66 of Colton Manich. In eighth, we have the 19 of Mr. Ben Gear. Starting in ninth, we have the 9 of John Held. In 10th, we have the 89 of Randolph Richard. Starting there in the 11th position, we have the 139 of Derek Garrison, and to his outside, we have the 78 of Gary Sapinski. Starting in 13th, we have the 4 of Larry Eddy. 14th, 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Starting there in the 15th position, we have the 40 of Timothy Woodson. And 16th, we have the 146 of Jason Cavaney. Looks like, I'm not entirely certain, 17th is the 51 of Craig Mayer. Craig not showing currently on track, so Craig may be having some technical difficulties. If they pop in, 17th will be the 51 of Craig Mayer, 91 of Joel Guy, 18th, 58 of Chris Hogan, 19th, and the 144 of Rick Adams in 20th would be the starting position for those 4 gentlemen. Hopefully, if they're having issues, they're able to get it squared away and get in here before we get too many laps in. You can come back from 1 lap down here in Lucky Dog, but you get 2, 3, and 4, you're looking at one heck of some insurmountable odds, I'd say. It's Michael Pegg, Jason Adams, bring him to the start-finish line. Green flag is in the air here at Homestead. About dead even starting there from those 2 decent pushes out back. Looks like that 57 may have missed a gear as they dive off here through turn 1. That 56 car, David Berry, looking to clear the 24 before they make it through turn 2. 56 is able to make that pass. Claims that second place, 44, Jacob Edson. He is diving down turn 3. Trying to do pretty much the same thing, get past that 24. 24 will have all the speed in the world off that top lane. The 44 is able to clear him, shut the door there on any kind of run the 24 might have. 24 just letting him go. Too early to be racing way too hard, really wearing our stuff out. So he's going to be, you can see that's what Jacob's doing, really backing up his corner entry, kind of slowed there through the middle. Saw the 24 getting real close to him. That 44 just looking to try and preserve some tires and speed. Head off here into turn 3 for the second time. Second, Michael Pegg took the lead, led lap 1, and is looking to see if he can set sail. The 56 David Berry doing a fairly good job. Keeping connected, not dropping too far back, 3/4 tenths of a second back off our leader, so not fighting on it, just enough he should be able to get a nice pull to go these straightaways, will not be messed up too much in the corners. He may find later these runs go, so it's almost like hitting brick walls. It looked like it was up to 139. Then I saw someone, no, it was 19 up in here. Saw someone dive down real low there, going down the backstretch. Probably got a little loose there. Was able to gather it back up. Looks like it didn't cost him just about anything. With the 19 starting 8, currently running 7, so he's up a position. Just take a look back here a little bit. That 139, Derek Garrison, he is following Gary Sapinski through. Derek here starting 11th, running 10th. Gary starting 12th, running 8th. Derek knows who he needs to follow to make his way through this field. They head off here. Derek and Gary, I think these are 2 guys we're going to see pretty much married to that bottom lane all night long. While the top lane is, 19 gets loose, drills the outside wall. He's up against the wall. He has it going straight, no caution. That's a broken right front. So he's going to have a heck of a time getting it around the track. Even if he keeps that thing to the access roads, that thing is not going to turn very well. See him struggling. he's really having to woe that thing up. So he keeps it going straight. We'll go back. I mean, excellent job to keep from coming down into the field, but breaks loose there on corner exit, saves, bam, slight over correction. That's all she wrote. Just broke the front end of that car. So we'll go back and we'll go ahead and we'll ride along here with the 19 of Ben here. We go turns 3 and 4 here. We heard him lift, but unfortunately just that was all she wrote. So we go ahead and we head back to our leader here. While we were looking at that, 56 brought it into a 10th second here of 777. So we have a battle for the lead. So we sort of saw it there. Something these guys are going to have to consider. This track is very loose coming off the corners. I mean, it can be very tight going in them, but for whatever reason, it takes, 10, 15 laps, at least in my experience, for these cars to stop being loose there on corner exit. Especially if you're running that high lane, just the way that high lane is shaped, it's very easy to get all bent out of shape. So we got a fight for the lead. We also have a fight here for third place, 44th and 66. Colton Manich, Jacob Benson, these guys almost seem to always be battling for position just about any time we see them. See Jacob there, he's moved up to that high lane. He's one of those guys, just about every race he runs, you're going to see someone ripping the board. It's going to be that 44 and 66 though. Sticking down to that low side, following the leader around this track. 44 is now having to contend with 24 Jason Adams here for that 4th position. Jason not going quietly, or goes back down to the bottom. They're coming out of 2. He's noticed all the guys ahead of him, they're running that bottom. He's also seeing it in his rear view. These two, 78 and 139. These guys are both running the bottom of this track. And that seems to be where the long-term speed for a lot of these guys are. If you look a little bit further back, say we'll check in here. 43. I hear someone going around with the 19 again. It's like he was able to get it off the track, get it towed essentially before a caution came out. It's like a similar issue. Back and take a look at this. As we go through turns 3 and 4 here with the 19. He just came down, got the car fixed, fresh tires, and then just snapped around on him. He was able to keep it off the wall. Just not his night. Back to that 139. He's just running real close. I bet we're back here to 43. Sandy moved down to the bottom. Poor Larry Eddy also on the bottom. Just pick a guy at random here. Where they're running. Normally we see, a multitude of lanes being run. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that we're used to seeing. Someone like the 57 here, running up there towards the wall. Those 24, Jason Adams, that's really going to help that 57 get to his inside down the backstretch. Side by side here into turn 3. Has to check up a little bit because there's the 44, starts to slide up. Looks like he was going to try to make a slide job happen, having to check up. Did not help him any. Had good heads up driving there by the 24. Jason Adams saw that 57. Really had nowhere to go with all that speed. Couldn't exactly get woed up in time. You see folks, trying that top lane. There's a lot of speed on that top lane, especially early on in the run. The longer these things go, that bottom lane really seems to be where the speed is for Jake Benson. Finally, position to go for a pass there on the 56 of David Berry, try and challenge for that 3rd place. And he's going to be running into the problem. Dave is going to have those speed down the straightaway. Jacob, he's going to have that, I'd say, much more stable line there going through the bottom. Now, if you're on the top, you can get in the throttle a whole lot sooner than the guys down low. So 44, they have a good boost there. Now to back up, it's very rare that you see someone get a little loose and not lose ground. It looks like he's able to hold steady there. These guys, the 56 and the 57, both these guys up top, they're able to get into the throttle so much sooner than these guys below them. That's really how they're able to hold that speed and all that momentum up there around the high side. The problem is, I mean, it's my preferred lane. I love running the top of here at Homestead, but even I have to admit that it is not the best way to run this track. You really wear out that right rear faster than any wheel car. That right rear just goes, you lose all grip. You get looser and looser and looser as the run goes on. Ooh, good check up there from the 57. That back stacked up the 78, allowed that 139 to go by. That pass, Derek Garrison up to the 5th position. Did not help Gary Sapinski at all. No, that 57 is going to get looser and looser as this race goes on. However, he had a caution fairly early on. 57 here. He started in 6th. He's currently running in 6th. He's passed several people who started ahead of him. It's just a bunch of people who were behind him on that start have moved up here. You know, the 139 Derek Garrison, he started back in that, find it here, back in the 11th position. He's currently running 5th, challenging the 24 4th place. He's able to get by there on the inside. Jason Adams goes for that cutback. Unfortunately, he's not able to duck down below that 139. It's going to be a tall order to try and beat Derek Garrison into the corner. You've got up here in 2nd, we haven't talked too much about him. We mentioned him a little bit earlier, but 66 Colton Manage. Colton here started back in 7th position. He's currently running 2nd. So 57 Jeff Gilmore, who's just now falling back to the 7th position. He's passed a bunch of people who were ahead of him. The problem is, a bunch of guys from behind him just decided they were going to come up here. They didn't want to be back there. They want to come up here and play. And that is where they are. Check in here with the 44 of Jacob Edson as he comes under fire from the 139 of Derek Garrison. Derek did not get a good at all qualifying runs. Have to start back there mid-pack. There with Simeon here. Sapinski, I'm going to guess, also did not have a good qualifying run. Derek made his way up through this field. Jacob, a pretty good start, started 5th, currently running in that 3rd position behind the 66 and the 777. He's got a rear view here full of Nationwide Insurance. We'll go ahead and we'll ride along with the gearbox. That 139, he's not coming to mess around. Try and take it from these guys up here. Derek is one of those guys who makes no slip. Everyone takes a lot of Michael Derek Garrison. Sorry, Michael Jacob Edson, Gary Sapinski, all of these guys. Derek comes in to be one of the slots. All those guys are well on notice. That 139 moves up to the high side. He's like, okay, I'm not going to be able to beat you into the corner unless I can get going faster than you. So I've got to get that run up there on that high side. Got to see what I can do. But that 66 gave the 44 a real good pull. Down the straightaway, you see Derek just sends it on there into turn 1, pinching that 44 down. That 44 gets a little loose there, has to get out of the throttle just a shade. Ducks there up in line before he can hemorrhage another spot. That 139 realized exactly what he needed to do to get past Jacob Edson, pulled it off. Now he's back to that preferred line there on the bottom. That 66 though up top is going to have that momentum. The 66 can do the exact same thing the 139 did that last time in turn 1. Does not look like that's what he's going to do. Let's say he could probably keep Derek pinned down there. Prevent Derek from taking that 2nd position, but did not try. I figured the best thing to do is just go ahead and fall in line, let Derek go for now. Go ahead and run behind him, see what he's doing. Go ahead and take a look from a spot on the track with a little bit fresher air. Then we'll come back. We'll see what we can do. Or is he defending that top line? That 44 Jacob Edson, he was up there running towards the top. 66, a little bit of a bump going down the front stretch. Jacob, we saw him get loose several laps in a row down there on the bottom. Probably moving back up there towards the top. It's a lot more comfortable, especially when he's got that 78 of Gary Sapinski trying to pass him on the inside. This is your fight here for the 4th position. Gary just sails it straight off there into turn 3. They fight behind that 66 and Colt managed. The 78 just doing what he can to make up these positions, but also save as much of his tires as he can. I mean, these guys are about a half second, just a little bit more than a half second here behind our leader. Here's Michael Pegg, who has a fairly decent lead, only 0.3 of a second though, over Derek Garrison. Michael Pegg here really running, I guarantee you he's not running as hard as he can, just running a tire saving strategy right now. He knows exactly when he's coming down pit road. He knows exactly what his long-term strategy here is going to be. You've got that 139 just running as hard as he can around this track. Go ahead and ride along for a couple laps with the 139 to get an idea what it's like trying to chase down Michael Pegg, especially with someone as talented as Derek. There along that high line. He tried a couple times, see if he can fake out Michael Pegg going into turn 1. Michael did not let him have it, but there he is. He's got that run. Took him several laps to set that up. Set up that run, sailed it off into the corner, pulled off the slide job there on Michael Pegg. See Michael Pegg going to dive back low. 139 really had to get out of the throttle there to stop hitting the wall. And he's going to be able to pass Michael again here, I believe. He's using up a lot of right side tire to be able to do this. And he's dragging at 44 right along with him there along that high lane. Michael's there just kind of chilling out, running his race. Saw that 139. He saw how much he had to fight that wheel. Run there along the high side. You know, that's exactly what that 44 is doing up there along the top. You got the 78 of Gary Sapinski. He's following them through. Michael Pegg dives up, pops up at the top, get that much better corner entry. Gary Sapinski following these guys through along the high side. Now these guys all have to take into consideration. I mean, their fastest laps, either low 30s, maybe high 32 second laps. All their last time by was about 2 seconds slower. There's a lot of fall off here. The guy with the best lap over lap time though has been Michael Peck. He just hit a 35-second lap. So these guys are closing in. Yeah, that's running 33.0. So yeah, running about 2 seconds slower. Prior to that last lap, he was running 2/10 better than these guys. But remember, he's running this. Michael Pegg is running this bottom lane. Running this bottom lane, he's saving a lot of his stuff. He's letting these guys run up there, burn up their stuff. Maybe they make a mistake. Maybe they hit the wall. And that's kind of what Michael wants to see. Is he just wants to see them make a mistake. He's not adjusting his race at all. Now we are, as 57 to Jeff Gilmore, is our first green flag. Am I not right? I was not. Oh my goodness, I was a lap behind. 57, I apologize, 57 to Jeff Gilmore, just here hitting pit road. He is right there inside that fuel window. If you want to go ahead and make this on 2 stops, that's 33.66 in the end if you cut it into even thirds. You got to be thinking that maybe that's what these guys here up at the front, the 139, the 44, the 78, that's probably what they're thinking. They're here running that top lane. You don't really save a whole lot of fuel here at Homestead running that top lane at all. So they might be thinking about going here before too long. See that 78 and that 777, they're working together there on the bottom. Michael Pegg probably thinking either running it a little later into the run, or might be thinking about seeing if he can make it to halfway. I mean, with these cars, the amount of fuel they carry, making it halfway to a lot of these mile-and-a-halves, just a little bit throttle control. It's not that difficult. See that 139 as he's doing his best to scoot out. He's got 0.3 of a second lead here over the 78 and the 44. That 78 going back to using the bottom. Like I said, he's someone that I figured we'd see pretty much on that white line all night long. He followed that 44 and that 139 all the, once they got up here, he followed them to catch up to Michael Pegg and get around him. That high side definitely looks like it's the place on the long run to make the pass, so long as you got the right rear tire to do it. And all 3 of those guys had just enough right rear to lean on. Even then, that 139, the 44, they are staying up there. They're seeing a lot of speed up there in that high lane. You see that 44 just kind of seesawing back and forth. That is a loose race car. Let's go ahead and we take a moment to take a look at the guys who came down pit road. They're going to be doing that 2-stop strategy, the 66 of Colt Manich. Currently scored 1 lap down. He came down pit road 7 laps ago. The 9 of John Held back here in currently scored 13th. John, he came down 5 laps ago. 57 of Jeff Gilmore. He came down 4 laps ago. Jason Adams, the 24, just came off of pit road. So those are all those guys trying to do this on that whole 2-stop strategy. They're thinking that it's better for them. They come down pit road twice and not be running 2 seconds a lap slower than the leaders. And we'll see exactly how that pays off. I mean, these guys are going to be bombing gears like we missed it. 78 Gary Sapinski was able to take that 2nd position. 139 and Derek Garrison running that bottom. He saw, gets a little loose again. That's going to allow Gary Sapinski to go ahead and scoot through. He's got the 66 to his inside. These cars with fresh tires, they're coming through the field. Gary's got that 9 of John Held unlapped himself right down there along the bottom. Gary and Derek running side by side. These lap down cars are not going to help the aerodynamics of either one of these two. They're running on 39 lap old tires. 139 getting dangerously close to the wall there. That car is getting real tight. What we saw earlier is any indication he's also starting to feel really loose. 78 of Gary Sapinski finally gets himself up to the lead. 777 of Michael Pegg just settled into 4th place. He's not really challenging the 44 too hard for that 3rd position. say the one person who's not adjusted his race at all will be that 777, Michael Pay. He's just been running his line, his pace this entire time. These guys are now looking just a shade over 2 seconds slower. That 44 is getting so loose there on that turn 4 exit. You can see the back end of that car just stepping out. Gary here working his way around the bottom through 1 and 2. So I'd be willing to bet all of these guys here are thinking what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and they're going to do this in a single stop. We'll see exactly how this pans out. We'll go ahead and check in here with the 66. He and the 9, they got themselves unlapped. Looks like that 66, though, just we have a caution. He's slow. Is he somewhere? Is that the 43 I see slow? This throws a monkey wrench into everyone's plan. So go back, we'll take a look. 43 coming through turns 3 and 4, got loose, hit the apron. That didn't help. Just spinning sideways up the track, kept it off the wall. Extremely slow car there on the front stretch. Brings out our first caution of the night. And we'll ride along here with Sandy. Heads up driving from all the people behind him, not get into his rear bumper. Unfortunately, it looks like a caution there with pretty much no damage to anyone involved, and that's always good to see. So we've got just about everybody coming down pit road. 9 of John Held, 66 Colton Manage. They came back down pit road, 4 new tires and fuel. This has put everyone in that position where they have to stop again. So if you were planning on making it halfway, this is a boon for you. If you were planning on going, lap 33 to the end, I mean, you come down, you get fresh tires, and it puts you back on the same strategy as our leaders. It's currently the 89 of Randolph Richard is being scored as our leader. I believe the 57 of Jeff Gilmore, I believe he is 1 lap down. He should get the waiver. He and the 43, if they stay out here till the 1 to go, they should get that waiver round. See the 89. He just stayed out to go ahead and get a lap led, which he does. He'll come down. He'll get his 4 tires and fuel. So that'd be a bonus point there for Randolph. I believe that gives the lead here back to the 78. So we see ahead of the 78, the 52, and the 57. We hit the right ones, 52 and the 57. Both these guys will be getting their laps back at the 1 to go. It appears Garrett Sapinski has the lead, 4 tires and fuel. Derek Garrison comes out in, get that, Derek Garrison comes out in second. 777 of Michael Pegg, he comes out third. 44 Jacob Edson, Jacob losing a position there on that. He comes out fourth. To round out your top 5, we have the 56 of David Berry in that Hot Wheels machine. So all these guys, everyone come down pit road. Go ahead and put 4 tires and fuel on. Looks like the 24 of Jason Adams. I'm not exactly certain how that worked. He stayed out. It's been 9 laps since he came down pit road. He's only in 10th, so not entirely certain how that worked, but that'll be what it'll be, I suppose. 66. Colton Manage just came off pit road, 4 tires and fuel. So everyone's got 4 tires, filled this thing up. See exactly how this entire thing shapes out. All right, so we have our 1 to green. So the 43, Sandy Curtis getting a wave around, as is the 57 and the 52. So all these guys getting, Jeff and Gary here are going to be getting their laps back. Sandy here currently showing as 2 laps, as 1 lap down, so he got 1 of his laps back. So that's not too bad indeed. I mean, single car spin, I can think of far worse things that could have happened. So, one more time, just go through our top 5. 78 of Gary Sapinski in first. Second would be the 139, Derek Garrison. Third, 777, Michael Pegg. Fourth would be the 44, Jacob Edson. And fifth is the 56 of David Berry, your top 5. We're going to do something we haven't done. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to ride along with one of these gentlemen here on a restart. I think we're going to ride along actually with the 6th place car, Larry Eddy, for this restart. So we'll go ahead and we will enjoy this from the car. Having a good handling race car, Larry able to hang it there a lot around that outside on 6 here, going through turns 3 and 4, just there off of that restart. He's already up 1 position, so up into the top 5. Larry Eddy getting better week after week after week. I swear that man has lies back pack is kind of chilling out. That's 40 at the moment. Talking about that 40 of Timothy Woodson, a little bit of a sideways moment coming here through turn 4. Just fresh tires, a little bit dirty air, hit that apron. Like Sandy and Ben was able to keep it out of the inside wall. Cost him a bunch of spots though. Put him back. He's currently 5 seconds. 5.5 seconds off the lead, so that is going to be a difficult thing to overcome. If we go back to the lead, talk about that poor Larry Eddy. He's got a lot of that hidden. I swear, he just hides back in the field, slowly works his way forward. Doesn't make any kind of huge, grandiose moves, just does whatever he feels like doing. Colton managed work on getting his way back up through the field. Got the 146 Jason Cavney following him through as best he can down there on the bottom. Colton here, he was one of those cars on that 2-stop strategy, came down pit road probably around lap 30, so a little earlier than maybe we would have expected, to run that 2-stop strategy and working his way through the field. It was hard to see the drive of his car. It seems like that perfect idea for him to do. Not quite able to make that pass there on David Berry. David running a very solid, very steady race. Hasn't really been outside of the top 10 most of the night. He started up in the 3rd position, currently running 7th. So we know there's a lot of speed in that car. Just taking his time, taking care of his stuff. Make sure he's got something at the end. Talking about that, 44 Jacob Edson, he's up here just kind of running that bottom 2.5 back from the leader, maybe figuring that he was pushing a little too hard there on that first stint, realizing maybe he didn't have that, the speed really to hang on there on the outside. Is the 4 of Larry Eddy. Woo! Real loose is the 4 of Larry Eddy. Keeps that going in the right direction. 56 though, right there to pounce. so I thought. He checks up. 66, Colton Mann shoots by on the outside. Jason Cavney following through. And the 9 and John Held looking to work his way under David Berry as well. Just able to get there, put a little bit of a side grab, trying to drag that 46 back. 46 got a good push. Got a good pull though, 146. They sail him off here into turn 3. Meanwhile, up here in the front, our leader, Gary Sapinski, is able to get out 0.3 of a second over his teammate, 777 of Michael Pegg. There's 0.7 of a second between him and the 139 of Derek Garrison. Derek not able to get going quite like he was the first run, but we know this guy, most of his speed is in the back half of a run. And these guys know exactly what it is they need to bring it down to get going. He had that caution around lap 40. These guys came down, yeah, lap 41. Lap 41 was when we had that caution. So these guys know, well, that means 2 30-lap runs between here and the end. I bet you these guys come down pit road around lap 70. Maybe someone gets brave, they decide to go ahead and take a little longer. Sometimes tries to shorten that run up a little bit. So we'll see exactly how that all plays out. Here's Fitz's able to pull out another 10th here on Michael Pegg. Going here through turns 1 and 2. Michael just getting a good pull, getting a good push. But it's further back where most of the racing's happening. These guys up front, they're kind of settled in. They're settled in for that long run. But that 44, right around Jacob Benson, this is about where everything really starts getting interesting. He's managed to pull a little bit of a gap here, but that 66 is running real strong down there along the bottom. He's got that 146 following him through just about everywhere, side by side. Dave Berry's hot machine. Number 9, Tide Ride, doing what he can, trying to scoot his way through, but every time he goes in a corner, he's got to deal with that 4 of Larry Eddy, getting good runs there along the top. Larry tags the wall just a little bit there. Doesn't look like anything that'll hurt his momentum, not hard enough to hurt the car. That does, I guess, force him to settle there in line behind John Held in the 9. So John sits to work here on the 146 of Jason Cavney. Seated position, David Berry. He's been working on him there for a few laps. Just had to get out of it, let David go. That 146 looked like maybe he doesn't have the most stable car there coming out of turn 4 exit. See how quickly the 9 got right up to his rear bumper. Through turns 1 and 2 here. This 9 is able to make that pass. Cavney half the run. He'll be able to get that cutback on John Held. Looks like he's able to get that cutback in there, door to door. With John going in the corner, move him up. Oh, John expected Jason to go down the track. Jason did not go down the track. John trying to run more of the bottom lane. Unfortunately, because he's down below the apron, that is not going to bring out a caution. Let's go back and take a look at this. We're going to see that 9. Watch our friend the Chopper here. They go down that back stretch. 9 expected the 146 to go to the bottom. The 146 does not. So that 9 just comes down right onto the nose of the 146. Trying to keep that car going in some sort of direction, just not able to get it gathered back up. So we stay green, unfortunately, putting that 9 a lap down. Fortunately for the 9, he doesn't have to stop again. And he'll be coming down pit road, 4 tires and fuel. He's been put a lap down. Should be able to get that car tires and fuels before these guys pass him. It'll be close. It'll be close. Gary Sapinski here coming down that front stretch. 9 not away yet. Looked like he missed his box, and that's valuable time that he has lost. Unfortunately, 9 does go a lap down. Meanwhile, here at the front, everyone's kind of keeping it together. A substantial gap has been developed. Gary Sapinski, 0.3 of a second to Michael Pegg. Michael Pegg, 0.8 of a second to Derek Garrison. Derek, 1.3 seconds to Jacob Edson. And behind Jacob, small Hornets nest, 66, 56, the 4. All of these guys running. Really, this is a fight here for the 5th position. These 3 guys running about 0.2 of a second away from each other. Fighting fairly hard here for this 5th position. The way these guys are running, that dirty air off that 66, not doing any good for the 56 and the 4 behind him. This man here, though, we saw how strong he was, just kind of holding steady. He doesn't have, I don't know where he is more advantageous or less advantageous. As he was coming up through the field, he had 2 people in front of him just about at all times. He was able to get himself up there towards the front, get to the lead, have to fight Gary Sapinski, Michael Pegg, Jacob Edson there for quite a while, but now he's sort of stuck 1 second behind Michael Pegg. He was 0.8 of a second last time we looked at him, so it looks like maybe he's going in that wrong direction. He's now 1.1 seconds, so he lost a 10th that lap. He gained it there, but not certain exactly what's going on. We'll see what kind of speed we get out of this 139 as the race continues to go on. 44, Jacob Edson, just trying to focus forward, see if he can catch Derek Garrison, but unfortunately for him, he's out of draft range, so if he does it, he'll be entirely on speed, or if this 66 catches him and actually gives him a push. 66, the 4 were able to finally break free of the 56. David Berry probably had a loose moment there when we were looking there towards the front. Those guys just drove under it, and that's not to be unexpected. I mean, these guys have multiple laps on these tires. So with those kind of laps they've run, I mean, I'd be willing to bet some of these guys are running harder this run than they were the first one. Just because you have to make it, one more stop. You can't make it halfway. Sorry, you can't make it the rest of the way where we have that caution. That 44 moved up towards the top side. That's where he's found all that speed from earlier. He noticed that that's where 139, the himself and the 78, that's where they were making all that speed earlier. So hoping he can duplicate that here. He's already, I would say he's already pulled some back, but I think he's kind of going in the wrong direction. Just a little bit. There's 139 here. He is closing 1.1 seconds back from Gary Sapinski. So he is pulling that. He's pouring the gas on. He realizes, man, I can't afford to lay back. I have got to get up there. We're closing in on pit stops. I have got to get close to these guys and then go down the pit road. 7 to Michael Pegg. He's fallen to a half a second off your leader, the 78. Unfortunately, it looks like at 139, that car, either he's pouring on the gas, that car finally came to him. He's got half a second off Michael Pegg, which means he's getting a really good draft pull down these straightaways. Gary Sapinski, though, maybe we'll take a look. All he sees is clean air. That's all he wants to do. He's got both those cars in that side there. He's able to keep an eye on them both ends of this track, see what they're doing, see how fast they're going, what line are they running. Just able to manage that gap. That's really all Gary Sapinski has to do, is just manage the gap. Doesn't need to do anything crazy, doesn't need to do anything, off the wall. Just run just hard enough, keep those guys behind him, but not so hard that you tear your stuff up too early. As you see, he's actually moved up off that bottom lane, moved up more towards the bottom of the middle lane. Be willing to bet that he's found a lot of stability. Able to really get through these corners, get on the gas, I bet, a lot easier than the 2 guys behind him. Michael Pegg now, 0.8 of a second. He is going backwards. That is an ill-handling car right there. Nowhere, it doesn't appear to be handling anywhere near as good as that car did that first run. He's able to actually, hold on behind these guys and challenge them for position, leading to that first caution. So here we are, lap 71. This is just about that halfway mark there from when we had that caution at the end of the race. So we'll see what these guys are thinking pit road wise. At 78 of Gary Sapinski, if he comes down pit road, you almost guarantee those guys behind him are coming. If he doesn't come this lap, if I'm running behind him, I'm bringing it to pit road. I'm getting those fresh tires. That guy can go ahead and he can run a little bit long. I mean, these guys are already to the point they're a second and a half on average slower a lap. So go ahead. I'll come down pit road. I'll get 4 tires and fuel. I'm only a second back. That should cycle me ahead of you when all things are said and done. It's 139, able to get to the inside of that 777. Might what he's planning on doing. Is he planning on coming to pit road this time? No, he is staying out. These guys have more fuel than I think they do. They might. He sees 78 of Gary Sapinski staying out. Haven't really seen anyone, I was going to say, haven't seen anyone come down pit road. 43 Sandy Curtis. He is a lap down though. He is our first taker. 4 pit stops. Keep an eye on this Gary Sapinski though. Just keeping it out there, just hanging out, really having a blast. Derek and Michael back here, them wrestling for position. Let's pull them back off of Gary's rear bumper. Little bit. So Gary able to pull it out just a little bit there. I mean, Derek was a second back, and now he's, a second and a 10th. Meanwhile, 44, Jacob Benson, he's still just doing his best. He's got these guys behind him. They've kind of strung out. Just doing what they can to try and get up there, but not really able to make anything happen. They're not going the wrong direction per se, but they're not really catching the guys ahead of them. 24 of Jason Adams. He was our second taker. Here, Jason Adams, I believe the 57 of Jeff Gilmore. He came down pit road just a couple laps ago. Sandy Curtis, John Held, all those guys. Well, no, John had to come down earlier, so Sandy Curtis, Jeff Gilmore, Jason Adams, those are your guys on pit road or just came off pit road. That will be their last stop of the evening unless we get another caution. 78 though, still hanging strong, looking like maybe he's wanting to run this thing later. Looking at the guys behind him though, I'm wondering. We'll see how this plays out. Darren Garrison now 1.6 seconds back. He's no longer in draft lane of that 78. He's no longer getting that pull. Gotta wonder, when do he and the 777 pull the trigger, come down pit road? Both these guys running 34.8s. They were 35s last time, 35.0 and 35.3. Derek Garrison, Michael Pegg respectively. They're both running 3 to 6/10 of a second slower that last time by. Gary Sapinski was 34.7. You cannot let this man be that much faster than you for too long. You let that happen, he is going to eat you alive. And that is exactly what he is doing. 1.7 seconds ahead of Derek Garrison. So we're going to go ahead. I think it's probably going to be our last ride along of the evening. We'll go ahead and we will ride. I think I want to ride with let's say the 66. Yeah, we're going to ride along with the 66. We'll probably mix guys. Just ride with the mixed guys. We're kind of excited. 16 laps to go left in this race. Gary Sapinski running 1.4 seconds ahead of Derek Harrison. Remember, he was running much further back, closer to 1.7, 1.8. Found a lot of speed, it looks like, there around that top side. Managed to close the gap to under a second and a half. He's able to get that gravel roll down there along those straightaways. You can see, he's making up a lot of time there on that corner entry. See, he was 1.4 back, pulled it up to 1.2. There going into the corner. That's where all of his ground is being made up. He knows he has got to get closer to Gary Sapinski. If these guys have to pit one more time, he has got to get there. He has got to get there quick. Maybe, I mean, it's possible he was doing some sort of fuel-saving strategy. Maybe these guys think they can make it to the end of the race from where they pit back on lap 41. Not entirely certain. Run up there against that wall, though, you are not saving any gas whatsoever. So I don't know if he's got enough to make it or he knows exactly when he's coming down pit road. We'll see. He lost a little bit of time there. I mean, you saw him having to seesaw that wheel. He was the second to last person who rode with Gary Sapinski and here with this 139 car. As he's trying to work his way around the track with that 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Gary running up there towards the wall as well. That is not going to help Derek at all. That is his preferred lane. 52 tags the wall there a little bit. Going there through turn 3. I can just staying up there, out of the way. So it's always good to see him doing his best to not influence the end of this race. Derek, though, did lose a little bit of time, lost about 0.2 of a second to Gary Sapinski and all of that. Gary, though, he's been running the bottom pretty much, I mean, for the most part, the entire night. So you're running this bottom through. He's been able to really save his stuff, I'd say. The other thing is, when it comes to this lap down traffic, a lot of these guys prefer to run up against the wall the later these runs go on, so he doesn't have to deal with their dirty air. He's able to get underneath them, get past them relatively quickly. I'd say it's good on him. It's the 777 of Michael Pegg has caught up with 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Shouldn't have to deal with him for too much longer. Yep. As he goes by right there, the 777, he is on that bottom line all night long. 24 of Jason Adams rode along with him a little bit. Saw he had fresh tires, so he's making his way up through the field. Jason here being, he is behind Michael, who is 4.5 seconds behind our leader. Jason here running some of the fastest lap times on the track currently, running 34.2s, whereas the guys ahead of him are running about a full second slower. So he's doing what he can to get back on that lead lap, get that bonus point for running all 100 laps of the event. And I think at this pace, he should be able to catch these guys here in about, next 8 laps. Get past that, get his lap back. Gary Sapinski, though, man, tell you what, looks like, I misjudged how much gas these cars have. I think they can make it. 10 laps to go. He's not coming down pit road. I mean, if he comes down pit road at 24, Jason Adams is in a fantastic position. But I don't think 78 or the 139 need to pit. Derek Harrison, I mean, he was up to 1.2, 1.3 seconds behind Gary at one point. He is falling back to 2 seconds back. Something, the handling on that car just absolutely went away. He is going in the wrong direction. Now, I don't think that Michael Pegg's going to be able to catch him to contend for this second position, but settling into a third place finish, 44 of Colton Manich. Still fighting Jacob Edson. This fourth is, Colton in the wall. Colton put Jacob in the wall. Probably one of those stand-up guys I know went ahead and backed off, let 44 have that position back. Did not like how that played out. So go ahead and bring it down pit road, probably take 4 tires and fuel. 44 staying out there, keeping it down low, probably maybe some damage to that car, not entirely certain. It's 9 of John Held. laps down, but much fresher tires. That 44 just keeping it down low. He's got damage. He's just trying to get to the end with this car. Can't say that's necessarily a bad decision. He's keeping it right down there, wrapping the white. He comes down pit road. I'm taking 4 tires and fuel as well. 66 down and away. We'll see how this shakes out. We know that this guy, or we're fairly certain this guy doesn't need to stop. He probably has just enough gas to make it. And you know, he's been running that bottom lane the whole way. So if there is someone who can make it, this is going to be it. Take a look, 24, Jason Adams again, he's coming to get his lap back. 139, 2.4 seconds behind our leader. And falling. Michael Pegg, though, I was going to say he's holding steady. He's still 2 seconds here behind Derek Garrison. So here, I mean, he seems to be holding steady at 2 seconds back. We'll see exactly how that pans out as we get our 5 to go. Just making sure that we are in the right spot. We were. Okay. Gary now 2.7 ahead of Derek. Michael holding steady behind Gary. Getting closer to Derek. Handling on that 139 car is gone. Now, what's going to be in Derek's favor, Michael still has to make up a second and a half on him. But beyond that, what he's got to do, Derek is running Michael's line. So if Michael catches him, it's going to be a completely other conversation about getting past him. Let's come back up here to the 24. Would be our lucky dog if we had a caution come out. Gary Sapinski going ahead and moving it up there towards the top. Going to let Jason Adams go by there on the bottom. Knows Jason has much fresher tires. Jason Adams here currently running only 22 laps on these tires. Gary Sapinski got 55. No sense in trying to hold that 24 up. He's not really going to be a challenge for the end of this race. Just get Jason back on the lead lap. As long as everything goes well for him, that'll get him that extra bonus point for completing every lap of the event. Gary Sapinski could be able to take advantage of that draft pull down the back stretch, get himself a little bit extra speed, try and put a little bit more time there on Derek. Not that really he has to. I mean, I'd say that he could probably run out of fuel coming out of turn 4, still win this race on the last lap, of course. Don't want to run out of gas now, but 2 laps to go. .139 now 3 seconds back. He's at 52. Looks like he came down pit road. He's currently scored 2 laps down. He got some fresh tires. He got some fuel. He is hauling the mail. Got 159 back up top. Now he stopped running this line. I don't know if he stopped running this line because the handling went away or what. He moved up there to that top side. Michael Pegg got a little bit closer. I don't think Michael's got enough time as we take the white flag. Next flag will end this race. 78, Gary Sapinski started 12th. Looks like he's going to finish first. Put on an absolute clinic tonight. Just carved his way up through the field. He had that caution. He was able to take the lead before that one caution that we had. Held on to the lead ever since. Absolutely dominating performance. Gary Sapinski comes off turn 4. Gary will be your winner this evening. Second place, go to the 139 of Derek Garrison. Third to the 777 of Michael Pegg. 4 of Larry Eddy. Going here through turn 4 unopposed. He'll come home 4th with the 56 of David Berry. Rounding out your top 5. Phenomenal drive from all of these guys this evening. One caution. And even then, it wasn't for anything major, just single car spin. Good heads-up driving, so we'll go ahead and we'll collect our top 3 if they are in the team speak call, and we'll get our driver interviews underway. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and we will start here with our third place finisher, the 777 of Michael Pegg. Michael, swim in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, I tell you what, that car did not look like it was handling right that entire second stint. Had a really strong start to this race. Go ahead and walk us through. I mean, what was your plan coming towards that first caution? When were you planning on pitting?
Probably going to take 48 and pit 49, depending upon where the field was at that time. Yeah, it was just slick out there. If you missed your marks, boy, you paid for it dearly.
We did some ride-along. We did a couple ride-alongs with you. We noticed you were having to seesaw the wheel there, especially towards the end of the run. I know this track can be pretty loose towards the start of a run. Were you guys just getting looser from your experience as things went on?
Yes. Yeah, the first 30 laps would be great, and after that it'd just start to fade off. You had to really be careful. I'd start using a lot of rear brake.
Yeah, and Homestead is not an easy track. I mean, from go, I mean, it's probably one of the last, I guess, true mile and a halves that NASCAR has. Notice you pretty much married to that bottom lane all night. Did you experiment at all with the top? Was there any speed up there, or did the bottom lane be the way to go?
Derek seemed to have speed up there, but I wasn't even going to try it. And I was like, you know what? If I give up any time at all, goofing around, I'm just going to run the line that I'm a bottom feeder, so I just run the same line.
Well, it looks like it paid off for you for the most part. I mean, you started first, finished third. I don't think you were ever really outside of the top 5 all night. So very strong performance from you this evening. I guess, is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, I want to thank all the regulators, all the Lucky Dog members, all the Lucky Dog people that watch, Lucky Dog Broadcasting, you, William, Brian, God himself, Tracy, Molly, Cash, Winston, and Tracy.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Michael. Again, congratulations on your finish, and hopefully we get to talk to you next time.
Thanks, sir.
All right, so usually this is where I go talk to our second place finisher, and that would be the 139 of Derek Garrison. But I swear, I don't see anyone who would be Derek anywhere in this TeamSpeak chat. I know just about everybody in here. There's only one name I don't recognize, and I don't know that he's in the league. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this opportunity. Derek, fantastic run this evening. Gave everyone in the field, everyone in our top 5, something to think about all night. Everyone knew you were there. One of the strongest cars that we had. So phenomenal drive there, Derek. Hopefully one of these days I get to talk to you, because, I mean, you're an interesting driver to be around. You're an interesting driver to watch, and I bet you're an interesting guy to talk to. So congratulations on your runner-up finish, and hopefully we can talk to you next time. So that'll go ahead and take us to our race winner, 78 of Gary Sapinski, still burning it down. I tell you what, you got a lot more gas than I thought you did. Gary, swim in the booth. You got me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I was thinking that, I know that when I run here, I typically run this race into thirds. So I guess I never really bothered to figure out how much gas these cars have. But you ran 59 laps. How much gas? I mean, was gas a factor at all during that last stint?
Nah, not at all. Nope. Wasn't even worried about it.
Well, you can run. What can you run? About 65 laps in these cars?
Maybe. I don't even know. Right now, only showing estimated 3 more laps. So plus all that burnout.
So that's a lot more gas than I figured these cars had. So definitely stopping only once was the right call. But
yes.
You actually, I mean, you took the lead and you checked out. Like, it didn't seem like anyone had anything for you, regardless of what line you ran. So, I mean, you seem to be able to run everywhere. I mean, how do you run fast here?
That high lane, it kind of worked for a little while, but I noticed it just chewed up the tires, just chewed them up. The place to be is like maybe like right in that bottom, that middle lane, or the bottom or that middle lane. Just keep your lefts right on that seam, and it kind of helped it rotate and turn and get through the corners real good. That's what I kind of liked, that middle lane for me.
We did some ride-alongs with you. We were listening to how much you were just kind of, rolling the corners, easing in and out of the throttle and whatnot. And I think for the most part, you're probably the person we saw sawing on the wheel the least. So I mean, a lot of car control looks like, especially throttle control, seems to be so important here.
Yeah, I mean, my tire wear was actually very good too. Even the first run, I was actually wearing more in the right rear than I was in the front, believe it or not. And probably the same thing here too. I probably was wearing on the right rear a little bit.
I mean, I think you're the only person we didn't see get loose coming out of a corner at one point. So I mean, how do you, especially to track like this, it really attacks that right rear tire more than any. How do you manage that right rear tire over the course of 60 laps?
It was getting loose off the corner, believe it or not. I don't know if you could see it, but it was really getting loose off of two every lap. Every lap, it'd give me a little wiggle. But I try to make the car go kind of like straight and kind of straight off the corner in that late exit, and not to be really bad turning on the wheel because you kind of get that push loose. So I try to be a little more straighter, and it comes off the corner a little less looser, and it kind of helps. And it started to get really kind of a little loose off of four too in the long run.
Well, I mean, again, absolutely phenomenal job. I mean, we were watching Derek Garrison. He was probably the guy that we were keeping an eye on the most. He had a lot of speed, was able to put that car pretty much wherever he wanted and make time. But you managed to go ahead and finish about 2.5 seconds ahead of him. And he started right up there with you. So I mean, that's an absolutely phenomenal job. Keep him and Michael Pegg behind you for that entire last run without really having to worry about him.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I was worried about Derek there. I know he was kind of saving tires a little bit, and that late run, and as the tires wore, he got around Peg there, and I saw him charging, and I was like, just let me keep on running my race. I'm running my race. Then I saw he was in the high line. Then I went up there, and I felt like, it's killing my right front. So I went back down to the middle, and as soon as I did that, I noticed I started creeping away and creeping away, creeping it away, and I think he just chewed up his tire a little bit, and that was it. He heated him up, and kind of like stabilized at one point.
Well, again, absolutely phenomenal race. I mean, you started 12th, finished first. So, I mean, I'd say a fairly commanding performance. Definitely our biggest mover of the race. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh, well, I'm going to thank you. I'm going to thank Lucky Dog, all the members of Lucky Dog Racing. I'm going to thank Peg. I'm going to thank Brian. I'm going to thank God above and everybody out there watching. Thank you. Hit the like, subscribe. Thank you.
Well, thank you again, Gary. Absolutely phenomenal race this evening. Congratulations on your finish, and we hope we get to talk to you next time.
You too. Good night.
And that will just about do us for the evening. That will pretty much, I believe, end everything. So we have our Wednesday night series tomorrow night, same time, 8 p.m. We will have our Thursday 1.5-mile truck series. Again, same time, 8 p.m. on Thursday evening. That's when you should hear from me next. Provided I don't have another oil spill in my kitchen. Not a lot of fun to clean up. Friday, we'll have our late model stocks. Saturday, our Xfinity Super Speedway series. So if you don't want to miss those are also right here on Lucky Dog Sim Racing at 8 p.m. Again, Friday and Saturday. Obviously, we take Sunday off because, everyone needs a day off. But hope you all enjoyed. If you like what you saw, go ahead and drop us a like. If you didn't like what you saw, give us a dislike. I'd say, more than anything, if you like what you saw, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you think you know someone who might enjoy watching, just go ahead and share us with them. But more importantly, I think if you guys want to, anyone wants to run with us, just go ahead and look us up on iRacing, Lucky Dog Sim Racing. We got something for everybody. Gen 6s, Gen 4s, trucks, late model stocks, Xfinities, and then, sort of kind of like a little bit of a mishmash, hodgepodge kind of deal. Just from all the Wednesday night stuff I've seen. I mean, these guys put on an excellent race 6 nights a week. So if you want to come run with us, just look us up and see if we can get you hooked up. All right. Well, hope you all had a fantastic race. I know I did. And until next time, we'll wish you a good one.